Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I'm your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious, and we are going to be going over Raw this week. It was in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Now, before I do get into that, two parts I want to get off my chest first. First off, I do apologize for the delay in this week's episode. I was out at a family event over the course of the weekend, and I wound up returning home late, so that would explain that. And also, it was on Memorial Day. To everyone that has served in the past or is currently serving, everyone here at the Vicious Studios would like to say thank you for everything that you do. Now, that aside, now back to the matter at hand and on with the show. I give the score for this show a good 7. Because of the fact it felt more like it was like it felt like WWE was like taking a page out of Ring of Honor's TV taping kind of style. Just like, you know, it just had that kind of feel to me in a way. You know, I don't know on how to put it into words, but it had that feel. Now, don't normally go over promos, but I will go over the one segment that had a promo on it. It was when the return of the Hallelujah return of John Cena. He came out, talked about, he did the same thing I just did, saying thank you to everyone who served, rightfully so, and then talked about on how, you know, whether this new era, old era, gold era, this, that, and the other, I'm here, I'm the torchbearer, so you're gonna have to go through me first. And then out comes Styles. AJ Styles winds up coming out, and you could hear and feel the reaction. Half the crowd going AJ Styles, the other half going let's go Cena. And you could just feel it. It was like, whoa, this is really happening. And then, right then and there, after that, Styles, he looks over, is like, you know, been wanting to meet you for a long time. I've heard a lot about you. And we've been worlds apart for a while, but now we're right here. And he said, and you know, as he's there, and it looks like he's, wouldn't say kissing ass, but he's, you know, he's blowing Cena up, so to say. Out comes Anderson and Gallows, in which case, you know, last week after Extreme Rules, they kind of went their separate ways. Gallows and Anderson came out and was like, oh, look at you, Styles. We didn't come here to kiss ass. We came here to kick it. And that is what we're going to do. You see Styles and Cena both take off their shirts, get into a fighting stance. Come on, come on, come on. And then Cena takes a few steps forward, turns back around. Styles, Pele kick right on him. And then they proceed to, all three of them, just go and stomp a mud hole in them. And then they all stand up, too sweet and so. The band's back together. It's not a surprise on that. You know, now it's just a matter of if they're going to have Styles feud with Cena, where are they going to go after that? Because honestly, you know, there have been a lot of guys who have feud with Cena who wound up getting dealt a bad hand right after the feud. You know, never really recovered. I mean, case in point, Miz. It took him this long to recover from his feud with Cena all those years ago at like Mania 27, I think that was. 26 or 27? I don't know. It's been... The point is, the one where he feuded with him. Now, that aside, on with the show. Back to the beginning of the show. It starts out with Shane McMahon coming out, and Steph coming out also. They're trying to go tit for tat for who can get a better pop out of the crowd, you know. And then out comes the New Day. And they hit the nail right on the head, because right before that, they announced SmackDown going live on Tuesdays. And then next thing you know, New Day says, yeah, felt a little surprised and a little worried because of this. And they brought up Fuck. Talking fast and I'm thinking. they brought up on how there's going to be a brand split. There's going to be a brand extension again. And said, well, yeah, there's going to be unique rosters for both shows. We don't know anything yet. And the way they were playing it, though, it was nice because they were playing it like Shane was one of the boys. You know, like, not in, and I'm not talking like wrestling term-wise either. You know, I'm talking like, you know, like one of the homie. You know, like your homie kind of boys. Whereas when Stephanie would go and try and do it, they'd just be like, uh-huh? No. And I apologize for those sounds just now. That was, again, our intern, Rocky, bring yourself up. Apologize. He was playing with the soundboard. And you wonder why Wade tries to set you on fire all the time. Interns, you get what you pay for. Cheap slave labor, and they get college credit for it. That in mind now, they go, so from what I would like to see, one world title, have the second tier titles be kept to their respected shows, women's title bounce back and forth along with the world title, and the tag title also. Because if you think about it like that, it can work. Because we'll just say for the hell of it, if Cena is the face of SmackDown, you can have the world champ, Roman, feud with Cena 1 week, on feud with Cena for 2 weeks, coming on SmackDown all the time, and then the next 2 weeks, feud with somebody on Raw. You know, something like that. You know, just a rough idea. But with that said, you know, they wound up, you know, on how that segment ended with New Day in there. They were saying, you know, you guys look like you can't agree, but what we do when we can't agree, of course we always agree, but if we couldn't, easy enough, we'd have a dance-off. And then they had Shane go out and go and dance, and then they had Stephanie come out, and I was cringing for my life at that moment because all I could think is, oh God, please don't make her dance like Elaine in Seinfeld. Just as she was about to, next thing you know, the VaudeVillians came out, which case, thank you, Jeebus. They came out and they got a match going between New Day and the VaudeVillians, and it was Kofi and Big E doing it, not Woods and Big E this time. Yeah, VaudeVillians, they were pretty much controlling the match. You know, they were controlling the match right after the commercial. You know, New Day, they were on point though. This was a good match. It was a good, solid rematch. You know, obviously one that was meant for TV. Definitely not pay-per-view quality. Like, oh my God, somebody tell Meltzer this should be tag match of the year. No, nowhere near that. But this was good. You know, and if anything, the VaudeVillians definitely worth having up on the main roster. I've said it before on my buddy B-Rot's show when he was at a couple years back when he was asking me about the VaudeVillians. These guys are what Vince would like. They got a build, they got good, they got good characters, and above all else, they are entertaining. You know? That works great. You know? Now, on how the match wound up coming to an end, the club, Anderson and Gallows, actually came out, beat up Woods, and then Kofi jumped on them, and then they proceeded to beat the crap out of them. So the match got thrown out for a DQ. They won. So New Day won technically. After that, the VaudeVillians, they just looked at it like, by all means, take them. And then they backed away. And then Anderson and Gallows wound up hitting the Magic Killer on them again, on New Day, and then they just walked off. They did a backstage interview asking why. They said, we're doing this to make them point. New Day and the tag roster is on notice. So, knew it was going to be a matter of time before those guys wound up getting a shot at the tag titles because they emphasize on how their IWGP tag champs, or how they were, I should say. And, you know, these guys are legit good tag teams, you know. Next matchup, it was Usos versus Breezeango, which sounds like a very frilly, fruity drink or a very cheap air freshener you would buy from a dollar store. With R-Truth and Goldie on commentary, Goldentruth on commentary. Goldentruth on commentary was pretty funny, but honestly, couldn't really wash away this match. This was really a match that I was not a fan of this one. It was just, you know, they were, I mean, Breezango, they were really good and efficient, you know, like that they were, but match wound up getting a quick end when, what was it? Breeze wound up getting distracted by by Uso 2, and then Uso 1 in the ring jumped up and got him in a crucifix pin. And that was it. After that, they went over, started yelling at Goldentruth, blaming them for the loss when they didn't do jack. Then next thing you know, Goldentruth just beat the crap out of them. Next matchup, we got another squash match. This was a quick one. Rusev versus Zack Ryder. I really shouldn't even have to go into detail on this. Accolade. Yeah. Moving along, we got our next match. It was Natalya versus Dana Brooke. And this one, I'm not gonna lie on this one. I was, you know, I've been trying to give Dana the benefit of the doubt, and she does have the potential. Do give her that. She still needs some fine tuning. Personally, what I think would work best for her, you know, since she's up on the main roster now, you can't really pull her back down without doing anything again. And damn it, Rocky. What the hell is wrong with you, kid? Seriously. Interns, I swear. You ask them to go and do one thing, next thing you know, they go and they jack it all up in all kinds of ways. I just can't get them. But yeah. With Natalya and Dana Brooke, honestly, Dana, she's got potential. Really do see that. You know, but as far as what her work goes, she's nowhere near where she should be yet. No sense in pulling her back down now to NXT to go and refine her. So, best thing to do, have her ride with somebody who's got some experience. So that way she can pick from them while they're driving. And then just have her work house shows. And then just have her stick to managing, being a manager at ringside until as she slowly starts to get better. You know, that same formula worked for Trish, you know. Just saying, that's a good idea. But that said, back to this match. It was kind of sloppy, you know. Like I said, Dana, she still needs some fine-tuning. You know, nothing against Natty on this one because honestly, she didn't even really throw out much offense, you know. But, yeah, it's... Charlotte, she was ringside, and apparently now they're going to have them to be a thing for now on since Rick ain't around now. But, yeah, it's really starting to, hoping that this goes better for Charlotte as the time goes for her to develop more now, especially since Rick ain't there, because, let's face facts, we've all been bitching and whining and yelling, you know. And I'm willing to admit it too. I was doing that as much as anyone else, that Rick needs to not be there. And that said, match wound up getting put to an end when, just as Natty was getting put in the sharpshooter, that Charlotte got up on the apron, started yelling, distracted Natty. She let go. And then turned back around, Dana picked her up, wham, Michinoku driver, 1, 2, 3. Now, I do apologize because, again, Rocky, you know, I take time off, they let the inmates run the asylum. There was a tag match after the Rusev Ryder match. It was Enzo and Cass versus the Dudley Boyz. And this was a good, solid match. This was, you know, Enzo's first match since his return from getting hurt at Payback. You know, Cass wound up starting it, which was a little different seeing, you know, not used to seeing that right off bat. But, yeah, it was good. It was a good match. That and really liking the fact that they're having Bubba be more and more Bully Ray-ish. Because nothing against the Bubba Ray character from before they left. but the Bully Ray character is just a lot more believable as a heel, you know? Just don't have him do that thick, heavy stereotype New York accent, you know? Just let him stick as he is, but you have him going like that. Top notch right there, you know? Now, and this was exactly the kind of match I've been saying has been needed for the new talent for a while, because the Dudleys, they were on point, they were good, but Enzo and Cass got the win, which helped get them over, and that's exactly what I said before. Not that they needed to get over, but they got the win to help solidify them getting over, you know? And they wound up, you know, it was Air Enzo, bottled rocket, you know, just picked up, and Cass helped him throw him down. And, yeah, it's all for it because, you know, like I said before, you have the old guard help put over the new guard. Helps, that way it gets everyone. Because now they can go and say, hey, we kicked their ass. What is it you guys have done? You know? Gives that little bit of an edge, you know? Now with that said, it is now the main event of the night. It is a 6-man tag match. Ambrose, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn versus Alberto Del Rio, Kevin Owens, and Chris Jericho. And right off bat, Cesaro in the ring. Boom! Starting off strong, hitting uppercuts everywhere. Uppercuts, drop kicks, just taking out everyone right at the very get-go. You know? That was really good, really impressive. Cesaro, my main guy, really hoping that they go far with him. I seriously doubt he's going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, but at the very least, he's going to wind up being the one that makes everyone go nuts. Especially if he winds up just grabbing a ladder and starts doing the swing holding the ladder. Because then everyone's just going to wind up having, like, bruised or busted up shins. That, another thing noticed, and they even brought it up on commentary, getting a lot of stupid idiot chants. You know, Jericho's new saying, stupid idiot. You know, and it's kind of cool because, you know, instead of being known as the guy for yelling arm bar and having a light bright jacket, now that. And also, you know, Piper put it best. You work as a good enough villain, people are going to start liking you. And if people are going to start liking Jericho because of being a villain and using that, you know, then you can wind up just letting him have a natural turn. You know, it's not a big thing. That said, this match was really good, on par. You know, wouldn't expect really anything less from all 6 guys. You know, you got Ambrose, Cesaro, Zayn, and Owens, who those 4 right there have worked Ring of Honor, CZW, all kinds of indies. Del Rio, who's done AAA, did some small work in ROH when he was fired, as well as AAA, some small work in ROH and Lucha Underground, should say. You know, he knows on how to work. In Jericho, he is an in-ring veteran, no doubt. You know, all 6 guys have top talent, you know. And probably one of the coolest moments of the match was Cesaro. He got the swing going on. He got the Cesaro swing going on Jericho. And as he starts moving around, Del Rio just right out of nowhere, you know, perfect timing, just slides right in. Wham! Hits the backstabber right on Cesaro, right in mid-motion. And I mean literally mid-motion, because you see Del Rio moving along, his body moving with him. He didn't keep himself still. He moved right along with him. That was pure fluid, instant movement. You know? Definitely impressed with this match. Match came to an end. Ambrose, he had dirty deeds on Kevin Owens, got the 1, 2, 3, that was it. Like I said, this had more of a feel for like an ROH TV taping because, you know, I think the best way to describe it is because the card wasn't all about like main event, main roster, main pay-per-view feel. It was just like, okay, we're going to make this match, and this match, and this match. Alright, we'll have this match and this match kind of build up to this, but we'll do this. You know, kind of like that. You know? With that said, that is it for this week's show, folks. So, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at TimVicious. Make sure you also check out my backup account, Tim_Vicious. Also, I am on that Facebook gimmick as Tim Ash. Do not forget to follow all these cool-ass cats right here on Twitter. Also, Vicky Earls, I'm Danny Sunday, Axel Mulligan, Sunday Segway, Sinfully Sabrina, WWE Grandpa, Aaron_Deborah, my executive producer, Oliver Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. It is on iTunes, Spotify, Xbox. Gold and such details for that are in the description box. As well as my client, Bronx Bitch Forever. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Buddies.